Bayes law or Bayes theorem. That's what we're going to talk about today. It's going to be a little bit longer video than usual, probably under 20 minutes or 15. I'm going to do my best, but this is an important thing in probability and it requires time to digest it. So hang in there, pause the video, make sure you take notes as well, and make sure you go back every time you don't understand something. You go pause the video and go back and make sure you understand it. Okay. Now, the idea of Bayes' law is basically the formal definition of probability, conditional probability. That's what that is. Simple as that. And it's such an important law that basically updates the probability of an event as more evidence or information becomes available. It has huge utility in a lot of different applications. Okay. And I'm not going to prove the Bayes law's formula, but it is very intuitive in a sense that I'm going to give you an example of that, and I'm going to go through that example, and then you will see what this ugly formula is going to look like. But don't get intimidated. It's actually very basic. But okay, so first of all, let's define what all these variables are or expressions are. So the first piece, probability of a given B is exactly that. So we know that B is true, so we want to find out the probability of A, that event happening. Then probability of B, the second piece right here, is probability of event B occurring given that A is true. Okay, so that's the likelihood probability. And the next one, probability of A, which is up in here in that formula. By the way, this dot means multiplication. So the probability of A occurring before any evidence. So supposedly we actually know that in terms of just the probability of an event happening. And then B is the total probability of event B occurring under all possible conditions. And then when you go plug it back into this formula, you're going to get the probability of event A happening given B is true and has already happened. Now, let me give you first, this formula is useful, but in my experience for the years, my students, they actually prefer the tree diagram, the probability tree diagram. So I will walk you through that as well. So with the example that I'm going to talk about, we're going to do the probability using Bayes' law, which is right here. And then I'm going to use the probability tree diagram to show you another way. But first, a very basic, simple example so you understand the concept of Bayes' law. And that is the hardest part to understand. And once you get that, then you'll be okay. All right. So imagine you see smoke outside your window and you want to know if there is a fire, right? So you see this and you want to know if that's a fire. You see a smoke. So let's go through and analyze this. Now, the probability of fire. First, you know that there is the very little probability that fire happens in your area. Let's suppose it's 1%. Okay. And then next one is that probability of having a smoke, but given there is a fire. So if there is a fire, it is certain that we know that there will be a smoke. So let's suppose that's 95%. And it is true, right? It's intuitive. If there is a fire, there may be a smoke, very highly likely, high probability. The next one is evidence. So what is the probability of having a smoke? So a smoke, well, it's just not coming from just a fire, random fire. It can come from different sources like barbecue doing in the backyard or distant factory or whatever, right? So there is a probability associated with the smoke in the area, but it's not just coming from a fire. We don't know that. And then the prediction is probability of fire given that you know there is a smoke, and that is what you are going to calculate. So, and that is basically by plugging all these values and numbers into Bayes' law, you'll get the sense of what that is. So why is that important? Well, it's important because in many different aspects of our life, specifically biological science, marketing, even YouTube uses this algorithm, by the way. So the likelihood of you clicking on a certain program is based on what you have watched before, and YouTube knows that, and that's a perfect example of it. Or for example, vaccine, a certain or the probability of a certain test, medical test that you do, and it comes in positive, all these false positive or false negative, and then next step is the doctor will say, okay, you need to do another test. And then if the both tests congruent to each other, that means that they support each other, then the probability gets more accurately done. So that is the basic definition or basic example of Bayes' law, the conditional probability. Now, let's go through an example together. Okay, here it is. We have two small boxes. We have box 1, we have box 2. Okay, and in box 1, we have 2 white balls, 3 red balls. In box 2, we have 4 white balls and 2 red balls. Okay, now a ball is randomly selected from a box. So it's a, again, that's also a randomly selected. So we want to know what is the probability of selecting a red ball. Now, it doesn't say from which box, it just says randomly selected red ball. So we need to calculate, so the probability of getting a red ball is equal to the sum of probability of red each box, okay? So what does that mean? That means this is probability of red and being in box 1, so I'm going to call it B1. And then whatever you have to add a probability of the red ball and in box 2. Okay, so let's write it up. Remember, this is the and, so that means that's probability of being in box 1 first, and then multiplied by probability of red being in box 1, plus then the same thing with the next one, probability in box 2 first times probability of red ball in box 2. Then we have to add, so we are adding the two top probability. So here is the setup we got to deal with. So let's go back and make sure we know what are the probabilities. First of all, there are two boxes. So the probability of being in box 1, that's 1/2, because the probability of being box 2 is also 1/2, right? So there are just two boxes. All right, the next one, probability of red in box 1. So when you go back to box 1, notice that this is what we have right here, box 1. The total is 5. Being red, that's 3 out of 5. So multiplied by 3 out of 5. Okay, as simple as that. So how many red balls you have? 3, and total number is 5. That's the probability. Plus, and then we already have the probability of being in box 2. That's 1/2 times the probability of red being in box 2. And then you go to box 2, and you look at the box 2. The total is 6. And how many reds do we have? We have 2, so that would be 2 divided by 6, or 1/3. Okay, and that's okay. So when you multiply, you add, I'm not going to bore you with that, the answer will be 7/15. Okay, so that is the probability of selecting a red ball in total. That's the sum of all the probability for each of the boxes, and that's what we have. So right here. Now, let's go ahead and look at the second question. Now, the second question says, if the ball is now drawn and is red, what is the probability that it came from box 1? And this is the part where you're going to go and rewrite the equation, and this is what you do. So we're going to use Bayes' law, which is up here. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to follow this, the probability of being in box 1, given that it's a red. So here we go, probability of being in box 1, which is B1, times probability of being red and in box 1, divided probability of, okay? So that's what we have in conditional probability for Bayes' law. Now we're going to go ahead and then plug numbers in. We already know most of the information here anyways. So we already know the probability of being in box 1. So that would be 1/2 times. We know the probability of red, but coming from box 1, that's 3/2. Okay. And you multiply in the top, divided by, and this is the part that you have to be aware, that's the total, that's the probability of red. We already calculated that in here. That's right here, probability of red. That means sum of all the probabilities for each boxes, which is 7/15. Okay, or you can rewrite the entire thing there and then put it on the denominator. But we already have probability of red, and we just have to plug it in. That's 7 over 15. And when you do the mathematical gymnastics here, you get 9 over 14. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm sure you can do this in mathematically. Multiply the top and then do the flip and then simplify. So you get 9 over 14. And then, of course, you can put it in a decimal expansion or do the percentage, which is 64.29% approximation. Okay, so that's what that is. And whenever you come across a question like that, I would suggest you start to doing the first part first, even if it's not asking you to do that. Some questions, some problems, they go directly to the conditional probability, like part B, without doing the part A. So if it says find if the ball is red, that means the first part is given to you. Make sure you calculate that first one so that you don't have to deal with that later. Okay, and then of course it's okay, there's nothing wrong with that, but that makes it easier. Now let's go through this same question but using tree diagram, and then you decide which one is easier, and I suggest whichever is easier, you use that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. We've got two boxes, so this is method 2. Okay, tree diagram. All right, so here is what we have two boxes. Let's call this box 1, box 2. Instead of being B, I'm just going to put 1 and 2. So the probability of for each of the boxes is 1/2. Choosing each of the boxes 1/2. And then the probability of for the red in here, so we can actually do the branches. We have a red, we have white, we have red, we have white. We don't really care about the white at all. We just want the red. So the probability to get the red, given that it's in a box 1, that's 3/5. And then for the other one, the other red, the probability that is coming from box 2, but it's red, that is 2/6. Excellent. Well, we already know this. So the total probability now we know. So what is probability of being red? So we need to add this branch and this branch. Okay, so we already know that. So the total, so you just go ahead, you say 1/2 times 3/5 plus 1/2 times 2/6, and when you multiply that, you'll get 715. When you do the math, you get 715. Simple as that. Now, you take this, that's the probability, total probability, which is that goes in the denominator for Bayes law. Okay, so this is what probability of right here, that's what that is. Okay, we just got that. Now you go ahead and then you say, what is let's write the probability formula. So you get probability that comes from box 1, and as given that is red, is equal to, now box 1, what is the probability coming from box 1? Well, box 1 is just 1/2 times 3/5. We're just using this branch right here. We're going to use this branch right there only. So 1/2 times 3/5, and then divided by the total probability of being red, which is 715. You do the math on that one, you'll get 914, same as before, which is right here, and that would be the answer to this question. Okay, so my students found this method, the tree diagram, probability tree diagram, easier. Okay, but you decide which one it is. It is important though that you still know how to use Bayes' law, because it may be you're specifically asked to use that and then break down the formula like that and then calculate each of the components of it. All right, so I hope this was useful. Until next time, and check out the next video in this series. For probability, I am going to go through one more example of Bayes' law, but without going through the nitty-gritty part of the Bayes' law in the next video, so check that out as well. Until next time.